People ask me where I get all my energy from the stage to the studio and to my desk. I am the energy god, and you can be one too.
You're listening to Adesope Live, the Afrobeats Podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to another edition of Adesope Live, the official Afrobeats podcast, here at the Afro Media Studios in London, where we break down the hot topics within the culture and get some guests in the studio for some one-on-one chat. As always, it's brought to you by the Energy God Energy Drink. Make sure you drink and be yourself. You can go to theenergygod.com to place your orders and find out what we've got in store. But apart from that, I'd like to say thank you very much for your subscriptions, likes, shares, comments. We appreciate it. We need those subscriptions. The bigger we become as a platform, the better we will be at promoting our own culture and promoting our own people without relying on others. So keep the subscriptions going. Now back to the studio. I'm joined by a very special guest, a family member to be exact. But he is the notorious one, event organizer in London. His name has rung all around the world, from concerts to events, and now festivals, and now a superstar venue. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Enigma, Smade!
What an introduction from the Energy God himself.
Listen, my brother.
Finally, I get to sit on the outset. Nah, this is special.
You have to sit on the
No, this is special. Let me sit down. This is special.
Listen, my brother, we talk like 50 times a day. We've probably done that for at least the last 12 years straight.
Yeah.
First question. I know I seen the little plaster on your arm. You all right? What's going on?
No, I'm good. I'm good. You know, it's always good for everyone to check their health.
Yep.
You know, it's always good. We work extremely hard, bro. We work day and night. Every time we get, every opportunity we get to work, you know, and that's, you know, the secret to everything you're saying now. You know, the consistency.
Facts.
You know how we ride from, you know, going down day and night in the streets, making sure we get this thing known. And oh, God.
Where we want to be.
Oh, God.
Listen,
Oh, God.
a lot of people have heard your name. A lot of people see you around. The celebrities, the big superstars, your Wizkids, Davidos, Burna Boys, the list goes on, Olamide, Bado. But some people don't even have a clue who the man behind the shades and the big beard.
So,
Who is Smade? First question.
you know, I get asked this question a lot.
Yes.
You know, but for someone like you, you're a brother to me. So I'd love to say that, you know who the man behind Smade is.
Yep.
But for everyone else, this is who they know Smade is.
Facts.
The man with the hat always and the shades and with the beard.
Yep.
Always smiling. You know, that's what a lot of people see.
Yep.
But there's a man behind Smade
Yep.
that I would love for people to know eventually. That man has been working consistently. So we haven't really had time to come on the set to talk about all of these things we've been doing, because you just have to keep going without no distractions, you know. And also understanding the position and the responsibilities ahead of you.
Facts.
You know, to get things done, to manage, you know, a lot of creatives in the industry, to put people on and to continue to, like you said, post, share, and promote.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's what we do every day. Things I feel like is good for everyone else. That I feel like, you know, so we consistently pushing and doing these things. The man behind Smade is a father, is a son, is a big brother, is a younger brother.
Yep.
You know, from a family of 13. You know, it's a lot. We can't finish, you know,
Just summarize
talking about the man behind Smade today. What I would like to say is a master's degree holder, studied marketing and advertising, studied everything he knows, is a businessman, an entrepreneur, you know, a culture king, someone that loves to serve, someone that gives it all. And I mean everything. Someone that loves to love, loves to serve, loves to share and promote the African culture.
Absolutely.
You know, so there's a lot more, but I'll just leave it there for
What
now.
I'm going to do during this interview, I wanted us to touch briefly on the man, step into events, go into concerts, talk about specific things about your relationship with entertainers and some of the superstars that are now dominating the globe, and then obviously get to the festival. You've introduced Smade the man. Before you stepped into events, you and I have spoken about it before. You used to be a sales rep at a fashion store in London. Yeah. Talk to me about that.
So those were the early beginnings. You know, apart from being a sales rep, actually, it marks 19 years today since I've been in London.
Wow.
So I've been in London 19 years, and the first 9 years was very, very difficult because of the limitations. I was also studying, and in between studying, I went to college, first degree, then master's. In between all of that, you know, those were the early days, and there wasn't any much excitement at the very beginning. There wasn't any much excitement about Afrobeats the way it is right now.
Thanks.
So, you know, all of these things has always been a dream to me. You know, I've always had this dream of bringing people together in like large, you know, congregation, and, you know, making people enjoy, have fun. You know, my early days in Nigeria, 18 years in Nigeria, I never, you know, had the opportunity to go clubbing or socialize the way I wanted to. Apart from being in secondary school, you know, boarding house where
doing
you have
events,
to do, you know, social gatherings, you know, social nights. And I happened to be the house prefect at the time. So I was organizing a lot of things. So when I got to this country, while studying, while doing those jobs, I also was using the money I was making from doing those jobs to bring people together in my house and started creating house parties. You know, so those house parties somehow led to the clubs. Those clubs somehow led to tours, meeting the likes of Wizkid, Davido, Olamide, and the likes, you know? And then it led to concerts, major concerts, and then it led to festivals. But while we were doing the tours, the most impactful part of this conversation is the fact that we were traveling to different cities in the UK, spreading the gospel of Afrobeats to those that didn't know or weren't interested.
Facts.
Forcing it into their ears and into the clubs and all that. So that was very impactful towards, you know, the growth, you know, spreading it wider. And our artists as well that we chose to work with, 90% of them are born to do this. You know, so I have to give it to them.
Facts.
Because they
made it
work. You know, the artists, oh no, like, look at yourself. We talk about working day and night. These guys don't sleep. Consistently working, you know, consistently in the eyes of the world, consistently being dragged online or one thing or the other. So it's always, you know, good to appreciate these artists that we've worked with.
Absolutely.
You know, it's also important to know that everyone has a story. Each one of these guys. And just like my story of working, doing sales rep, I've worked in Next, Buttons, TK Maxx, you know, I can go on. Retail stores, TM Lewin, I've worked in HMV, you know, HMV factory. I've done post office jobs. I've done cleaning jobs. I've done waiter jobs. So everything that I have been... You know, somehow I'm processing it now, but being on the other side.
You mentioned starting the parties in the house that eventually led you to the club. And whilst doing the club promotions, you started to basically sell concert tickets for Cocoa Bar, a big event organizer here in London.
Correct.
Talk to me about that one moment.
Okay.
That was a big moment for you. Selling tickets for Cocoa.
All right. So this goes to everyone out there trying to pursue their dreams as well. You know, before you can become something, you have to know and serve. You know, you have to learn what, you know. So I started researching what was on ground already in terms of the entertainment. Obviously, I got inspired by a lot of things, a lot of people, things that were going. I think the first inspiration was DJ Abbas and Ayo.
Shonaya.
Yes, it was our 3 concerts, independent somewhere in Acne.
Yep.
And the band was actually...
That was his first ever performance.
First ever.
First time
I promise you, I was blown away. I probably shed a tear seeing the band who no one knew come and wow the crowd. And like, at the start, I think a few people were booing that.
Who is this? Yeah.
But I said to them with confidence, you don't know me, but at the end of this show, you gonna know me. And you would beg me to stay. And that was exactly what happened. He came on stage with the lady then called Queen, and they smashed the show. And that, for me, was no going back. So I started working, researching DJ Abbas. And DJ Abbas is someone I've been following since Nigeria. When I was in Nigeria, when I was in secondary school, he used to come down to Lagos and play gigs. And, that, for me, has been in me from time. So... moving on, I started researching. I learned about Black Knights.
Facts.
There was also Alpha Genius. It was in the club scene, killing the club nights. Then Black Knights was doing their
amazing
shows.
concerts.
Yeah, which consisted of Dutch, Tunde,
Amor,
Cassie, Baby X, and so many others. So I got close to the team, started selling tickets for them for free. Not getting a penny. In fact, sometimes I'll be offered and I'll say, no, I just want to keep doing this for you guys. So I did that for a couple of months. And then, I thought I needed more. So then popped up Cocoa Bar. So, and I met Cocoa Bar while he was promoting the band 2009. Lizzie Moja had referenced me in the office. Then she was working with the Cocoa Bar team. And she had said, oh, there's this guy you guys need to bring on the table to do this because he's popping right now. And they called me to the office. I packed some tickets. I think I went with Coco Cure. Folabi Coco Cure, and there was also another guy with Coco Cure. So Coco Cure, there was two of them, Bright and Folabi. We went there, and I packed majority of the tickets. And within the weekend, I came back with the cash, with the money, like, boom. And how did I do it? Already I was studying marketing and advertising, and sometimes I have to go back and open my book. What can I do? So I started building relationships with a lot of barbershops, a lot of African restaurants, a lot of high street superstores and supermarkets and, hairdressing salons. I started building personal relationships with these people, and I gave them tickets to sell for us. So then it was BlackBerry days, and I would go back on my BlackBerry and, send a broadcast to everyone on my BlackBerry. And I used to collect contacts
details.
Then, so I had a lot of following on Facebook, on i5,
on BlackBerry.
On BlackBerry.
I was one of those.
So at that time, it was tough. Because even delivering tickets, you have to go to
physically.
The doors.
You have to knock on
people's doors. And I deliver tickets at 1 a.m. Some people watching this will know this. Because I used to deliver tickets at any time. 4 a.m., they'll tell me they're available. I'll go there at 4 a.m., I'll deliver the tickets. I'll travel around London, go to Slough, go to Northwest. And this was back in 2009. 2010 when we did the first Afrobeats festival, so it's been humbling, to see where we are right now and to see where we are going, and what we are about to become.
Absolutely.
So all of those journeys and process has been a part of what
has brought this together.
Yes.
You mentioned the first Afrobeat festival that had P Square as the headliner.
Correct.
And a young artist at the time by the name Whisk.
My guys stole the show. No disrespect to the P Square.
Yeah.
They were legends. They did their thing.
Absolutely.
But there was this young kid that people just were like, loving so much at the time. And we's been a young kid, never seen anything like that before. In our industry, a young kid.
Absolutely.
It was actually it was the first young kid to step up to that level. And for me, it had overwhelming love from the UK fans because we love to see it.
From day one.
From day dot, we love to see it. And he stole the show. The show was amazing. And there was no going back for the superstar from then.
That was when I now had, shout out to my brother DJ Larry for Factory 78, had the opportunity to come and interview Wizkid. Someone called me at work. They said Wizkid was available.
It was actually a year before that.
Yeah, it was a year before that.
It was a year before that.
But someone called me at work and said, that, Ice Prince was available.
Correct.
And Wizkid was available, but nobody knew where Wizkid was. But Ice Prince was in Dagenham, so I jumped in the car. We came here. I picked up Ice Prince at the barber shop. He told me he was staying at his friend's house just down the road. So we drove to the house. I sat down, put the camera. Once we went in, I saw Wizkid playing games. Yeah. I'm like, one for the price of two. My God, this was jackpot. I set up the camera. We started interviewing Ice Prince, and then the owner of the house walks in. He's going on the stairs. He sees the cameras, the lights. He's seeing what's going on in my living room. He said, well, listen, who are these people? What's going on here? It turns out to be Smade. First of all,
alhamdulillah, thank God.
How did you get those two? Oleku was crazy. Yeah. Wizkid was crazy. They were basically staying at your house underground at that time, which meant there was a certain relationship.
That's the word. Relationship. For a very long time, I've known the importance of relationships. That was what got me to meet them, to know them, and still be cool with them till today. The relationship. We have to know how to manage that. It's something that can take you anywhere you want to go to. So meeting Ice Prince and Wizkid was based on relationship. I had a relationship with my partners at the time, Coco Bar, Rockwell, and we were planning to do a show for Wizkid. I think it was Rockwell planning to do a show, and somehow they were stranded in terms of then things were hard. Things were very hard,
Facts.
And things are still very difficult because lack of sponsors, and lack of support from our own people at the time.
Facts.
So
No
funds. So I think it was issues to do with the accommodation. And look, I had a 3-bed house to myself.
You were living like a king. A promoter living like a king. What chick?
The minute this guy stepped in my house, they're like, Hotel Bow.
Now here we go there.
This is where the party is. Anything you're enjoying, Smade, we are enjoying together. So we built a very strong, massive relationship. Prophesizing what we're saying today. Talking. I remember walking past O2 then, and Weez was like, "We could do this thing." I promise you. Like, I was with Bazzi, I was with Weeds. We were just taking a walk around the O2, and he was like, and he kept on saying that up until the time we went to see
Future.
It was performing at Future.
Yes.
And we went through the backstage, and we said, it's time. And I knew it was time, long time ago. I just needed him to say it was time, because then, we haven't seen anything like it. So we did that.
Big risk.
So then came Afro Republic. Then came more shows at the O2, Davido, and all the other shows, Wizkid back-to-back, Starboy, and all the shows that you've seen at the O2 Arena. It's been a dream come true for so many of us. So many of us. So, till date, these guys don't forget, and I don't forget all those conversations. And you don't forget those times as well. And that's why relationships is key to everything. And those relationships is what's taking us to making us open different doors.
Absolutely.
And we have to continue to create those. Yeah.
Now, that's Wizkid. And obviously went on to do Wizkid. He went to Governor Bar at the time, and then came to support P Square, and then came for his own tour.
The Governor Bar was the first club that he performed at.
How many people were in that building?
About 300.
Can you imagine?
It was about 300 people. I've got the images. Don't worry, I'll show you.
Yeah, we've got videos too. I know.
Thursday Night Rock with Wizkid and Ice Prince by Smade. That was promoted in 2010. Yeah. So, and that was the first time everyone heard Wiz and Ice Prince perform Oleku at Dondol, in a small club. And now to see what these guys are doing now, what Weez has done now, is amazing. Honestly, so you just have to keep thanking God and give gratitude. To witness this.
One of the crazy stories about that night. I didn't have the opportunity to come that night.
Oh, you missed it?
I missed it. I had too much work.
If you knew, if I don't leave work.
No, Baba. I won't go.
But you don't think saying a Smade party. I know they go.
I saw Ice Prince and Wizkid, and they were going to perform at Smade party.
Yeah.
But because it was a weekday, I had work the next day. So
9 to 5.
9 to 5. But what the other story that I heard about that night that always touches me is that on the other part of London, there was another young guy who had come into London and was also aspiring to be an Afrobeats musician, who wanted to go to that event, but somehow slept off in Elephant and Castle and couldn't make it. His name is Davido.
Davido, yes, correct.
That man eventually gave you your first opportunity to throw your own Smade concert. Talk to me about that.
So, I would say the belief of going independent came from, hanging out with the right people, talking to the right people. I can remember back then I spoke to one man. I was like, what do you think? And this man said to me, yo, you are local. I have seen this long time ago.
Facts.
Time for you to go on your own ride and do this the way you feel is right. And I see you doing great things and blah, blah. That man is you.
Facts, my brother. I saw it that time.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Sorry, brother.
I was on my decks and, I bounce, ideas off people.
Yeah.
And I think you must have left some comments on some of my BlackBerry messages about me going
in
to
the middle of the
HMV,
night, putting the poster out, Wizkid, selling tickets in the middle of the night.
You must have seen all of that and, messaged me once and like, yo,
you're the one doing the work.
Why are you doing this at this time? No, but listen, it wasn't my show independently. Like, it wasn't just me doing that show then, but you have to carry other people's things the way you want yours to be. And that's just been me from very young age. Everyone I've worked with has really put me up because they see that responsibility and they see the hard work and sheer determination and passion and the drive. There's so much that, you need as a person to have a good personality for the kind of business we're in, entertainment. But it's not only entertainment, it's everything around it.
Type
all
of
those jobs
work.
I've done from, working in retail stores, working in a post office, doing all those bartending, it's built me to be who I am today. Right. And I thank God for it, But going back
to David.
David saw something I didn't see. And I saw something he didn't see.
And nobody else saw.
So there were two hungry lions there. Two hungry lions that just wanted to get themselves out there. So don't forget, David was just about to break out. He had a lot of catalogs.
He just had a couple records at the time.
Not a lot, just a couple.
Just a few records.
He
had Damiduro. He had Back When,
And then before the show, he had Skelewu, and then we did the competition. Yeah. So one thing we've always done when we market this artist, we create stories for them.
Facts.
We make up stories for them to fly in the media waves because that's what people want to hear.
Yeah.
So we create those stories and, Skelewu became a monster from just a competition.
Dance competition.
Just from saying, and everybody started doing Skelewu all over the world.
And we were doing those videos, we had to upload it on YouTube because we didn't have social.
There was no Instagram.
I think we had about 63 entries.
More. We had over 100.
Over 100.
We had over 100. Yeah. So, it was humbling. David was hungry. He didn't think he was ready for the Indigo 2 at the time because there wasn't so many people that sold out on Indigo 2. Yeah. So, with my stance in the industry at the time, this was in 2013, by the way, we've had David come a few times, maybe doing a comedy show.
Yeah.
Basketball.
He popped up.
And then we've had a show for him that I also did with Coco Bar.
Yeah.
At the O2 Building 6. We did an after party there.
Yeah.
David was a guest there.
That was the night. The
That was
night
the
of the
after-
basketball.
Yeah. So I hosted the after party and boom, we smashed that. And that was where we connected with David. So we met again and we started discussing doing this show. I think the day I met him, I had my now 10-year-old daughter, Amira. She was a baby then. And it was B-Red, Adewale, and David. And, a bunch of other guys. And David was like, no, we need to sit down. Just me, you, and Adewale and discuss this because he was serious about it. He was scared. I felt it that he wasn't sure he was going to do that. But the minute we sold out that show, there was no going back for David, because we didn't just sell that show. David is the only one out of all the artists that I've worked with.
I wanted to mention that.
That will wake me up and say, yo, where's the interview?
Bro, we took him from the airport to meet
and then we went straight to the BBC One Extra to meet DJ Edu.
Absolutely.
We were with DJ Edu and straight from the airport, which was rare. But that as well created a new wave for the artists. That
Absolutely.
Once you pick them up, do you know how many artists have put their bags from the airport? So everyone will be like, what's the interview? From that time on.
It was David.
So that wave
David
was great.
created that.
So he's selfless at adding value to other people. David is selfless at empowering other people. I've been to different places with him that, in as much as you see something on social media of him, taking off people's cameras because,
private moments.
Yeah. People need to respect that.
Yeah.
David is the only one that I've known that will say, yo, everybody record if you want to record.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And
give them that moment.
Give them the moment. Like, use
I
me.
was here.
Use me.
David.
Serve with me. Like, let's do this. That's powerful.
Absolutely.
But, I guess that's one of the things that we needed. That's why we're missing him right now.
Absolutely.
It's so painful to me too, personally, when I spoke to him a few months back when the incident happened.
Yeah.
I spoke to him on the day my first child would have been 13. So, I also lost a child 13 years ago, 14 years ago. And, it was so dear to me that the day I got the opportunity to speak to David, I was in my emotions. I was sad. I was not myself. But somehow God gave me the strength to be able to speak to him and say, listen, I lost one, but today God has given me 4. So my brother, brace yourself to count your blessings.
Blessings that are coming.
It's a bad tragedy to happen.
Yep.
But these are things that happen to great kings, great people, and it happens to everybody. So we just have to be thankful, because sometimes it could have been worse.
Yeah.
So it was a tight situation and very emotional for the whole world, for everybody. But listen, watch out for the comeback.
Absolutely.
Everybody is prepared for the comeback.
Absolutely.
So I cannot wait for David. March is
around the corner.
It's around the corner, and we can't wait. We've missed David on socials. We've missed him on stages.
Everywhere.
We've missed him. We've missed his great
presence,
personality, like everything, and what he does particularly as an ambassador of the culture to push this thing to the next level. Listen, David has been to Smade Lounge almost 20 times.
A minimum.
He goes there without even calling
when you're not
me.
around.
When I'm not around, he's like, yo, I'm going to your place. I'm like, I'm not there. He's like, I'm still going there. So that's love. That's someone that wants to see you win. A lot of them have done it, don't get me wrong, but he's just so special at leading that wave and letting everybody remain, humble. So we just have to continue to serve. I don't see him as becoming a different David. I see him as becoming a much better David.
So before we talk go into the last two stages of this interview, I want to talk about another relationship. Being around you for quite some time, there are specific key relationships that I believe has helped to make who you are today. First one was obviously Wizkid, whose partnership with you has been relentless. Then the next one was the man who mentioned now, in David, whose partnership with you has also been incredible. The third one is a little-known rapper by the name...
That's not a little-known rapper.
It's a joke. It's a backhanded joke.
No. Don't joke like that with this guy.
No.
That's one of the baddest.
I just wanted to throw it that way.
Listen, you cannot joke with this one.
Let me say
because it's...
Let me say
the way
it the
we
right
keep
way.
joking,
Some
people will take it serious. Let us say
let me say it the right way.
Give him his flowers. Now.
Listen to me. A little-known rapper who has gone on to become one of the greatest rappers and musicians from our culture. Not only a successful independent artist, but has now opened doors for multiple platinum selling artists that he signed from nothing. He goes by the name Olamide Bado.
Bado! Listen,
the first ever show Olamide in this country was in a hall in East London. Here in Barking. But from that moment, Olamide always does something to your shows. There's more people outside trying to get in than the people in the building.
I think it's happened in all the 6 shows you've ever done, from that hall party to Truxy to HMV Apollo to Building 6. Everywhere it's happened, So I've now managed to understand that, from what's happening now with, most of the street kings coming here to perform.
They have a lot of love.
Yeah, so my advice is for them to... The love is overwhelming. And sometimes the streets that loves them the most cannot even reach them. So it's important for them...
So they always see the concert as the only place to set eyes on them. Because Olamide is a cool guy.
They can't afford it. They can't, probably... They can't afford the show, or it's not the right place for them. So what happens is people from the streets, from different hands, then want to now decide to rush in or disrespect the show or force their way.
But it's just love.
It's just love. It's just overwhelming love. So we've now identified that it's overwhelming love. But what people need to do is stay back and let the shows go on. And what the artist needs to do is also show love to the streets one way or the other. I'm going to leave it to them to decide how, but either by visiting these guys, because these are the people that you sing for, that you represent. And it's also going to add more value to you as well as a person. If you're getting to know who is running this area.
I want to talk about...
So, like with Olamide, those shows...
your relationship with him.
My relationship with Olamide, first of all, wasn't a good one. It's not what you guys want to hear.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. There was a bottle broken on that day. Smashed on the floor.
No way.
Oh, yes. But the same Olamide is someone
too quiet.
I can talk
cool.
to and cry tears of joy or get emotional. And we're both crying on FaceTime. We both that's the kind of, it gets really emotional. You just have to understand Olamide.
He's a cool guy.
He's the coolest guy ever. And watch out for Olamide. He's going to be one of the richest. That we have.
I think already now.
With what he's doing in this industry.
Already now.
Still making music and still able to produce young superstars at a very early stage to be able to build and nurture them to become a superstar level,
Adesope,
and be
Fire
able.
Boy,
Listen, the most important one now, to be able to step back
and let them shine.
That's something that forever. Big flowers, please give Olamide's flowers anywhere you are. Give Olamide. People don't see this, and people don't say it enough, but he's one to to show so much love to, because we all are not like 100%. We're not perfect.
Facts.
So we all have,
our shortcomings as human beings.
Our shortcomings. We all have our flaws. We all have things that goes down in our, back room that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, a lot of people don't know Adesope. They know Smade.
Facts.
Just the same way a lot of people don't know Olamide Adedeji, but they know Olamide Bado. So that's exactly what it is. And the same way with David Adeleke, the same way with Ibrahim Ayadeji Balogun, the same way with Damini, the same way everyone with Tiwa, with Yemi Alad, everyone.
And we have to give them that respect.
We all need to now start understanding that there's more to this. Everybody, every one of us have a part to play. Your comment on social media impacts us, impacts the artist, impacts the society, impacts those that don't even know about this industry. So whatever we put out there in our comments, supporting, sharing, liking, promoting Energy God, do you know what this can become in the next 5 years?
Facts.
If you guys promote it, if you guys share it? This is how the Ace of Spades started.
Facts.
This is how the Jay-Z's, the Demon Dashes, all of these guys, this is how they became kings. So we need to support our own. So Olamide stepping back for the Fireboys, for the Ashakers, for all the people in the white. Listen, before the Fireboys and the Ashakers,
there was Lil Kesh.
There was Adekunle Gold.
There was Chinkweku.
Bro, there was Victor.
There was Victor.
Bro, this guy always brought people to his own. Like, he brought people to every single show that he's done. Like, he sponsors people. Fino. Do you know how many times they brought Fino?
Fino was here.
Culture. There are times,
before the culture show.
Before the culture. There are times, I think 4 times he brought Fino before I actually had one conversation with Fino about doing, a joint show for them with the culture tour.
Culture tour.
So, like, this is someone that a lot of people need to respect and praise in the industry.
Absolutely.
So shout out to Olamide. Looking forward to what more you got coming, because trust me, this is a future. Genius. When you can start picking new arts, and that's what we want. We want more superstars created, and we want people that understand the industry behind this artist. Because it's not about just bringing investors from anywhere you think and just putting them. No, you need to understand.
Know the artist.
You need to know the artist. That's one special thing I've seen in this guy. And, the rest of them are trying. They're doing their best. You know how many people Davido has blessed? You know how many people Wiz has blessed? That no one knows. It's not just
the public
show.
Yeah,
it's not just, by those that you see signed. No. These guys are consistently sponsoring people's videos,
pulling people close to each other, giving a little verse,
a
little collaboration.
This you don't see. You don't see the charity side of what they do, but you just see the show off and the lifestyle. We sells the game. That's what you guys want to see. Give it up to all our artists. Give it up to Adesope. Your selflessness as well. I must say. A lot of people might not agree with this, but this, for me, is, in fact, I'm even getting really emotional right now because of what you have done and how you have served this game and the culture and how you have stood by not just me, but a lot of these arts. It's very difficult. You can imagine at the time when Wiz and David were talking, me in between, working with each of them. Bringing him up on that show that we posted the other day.
Listen, Brixton Academy.
We're in difficult position.
Talk to me about that moment, man. Nobody knew Wiz. Even I did not know Wiz was coming to that show. Who made the call? Talk to me about
it. Can I get some energy?
Of course you can. What happened on that day?
That day, special moment. I prayed for that day to happen. God knows I prayed for that day. Wiz was around, and myself and Bazzi were hanging out with him a couple of days before the show. And he made a joke about it. And, we were like, we don't think you're going to pull it off. But, yeah, if you do come there, that's fine. He just made a joke about it. He didn't say he was coming, but he made a joke about it. Marcus show, for sure, and last of all. gave me my change. And that was what happened. Listen, God kind of like, God planned it. God did, because I didn't plan it.
Because I remember when he got there,
you
walked into
I am not
David's
going to take the credit for that.
He just came.
I am not going to. I'm saying it beating my chest.
And that's the show
God
you
did.
organized.
I organized it. I did 10 cities after London show.
I remember when we sealed the deal. We went to David's
We
flat.
sealed it together, bro. You was with me.
David said no contract, no nothing.
I hope you're gonna be putting these pictures up.
Absolutely.
Because I got loads of archives for them. So that day, I just spoke to, before going to the show, I said to Bazzi, I don't need you at the show. Go and sit with Wiz.
Make him come.
Just go and deliver Wiz for us. And Bazzi, God bless this guy. Another guy that a lot of people don't see, just like yourself. Another guy that's been behind so many artists and myself.
Facts.
And stood by us when either we're weak.
Nothing was shining.
Or nothing was shining. Or, ride or dies, Don Bazzi. That's my best man and I'm his best man. So the rest is history. But this guy has pushed bags with me at the airport with different artists. I saw one today with Diamond Platinum. Us dragging bags. He didn't have to do that because we were a team.
Yep.
So Bazzi understood everything. The camps, the game, the artistry, even me. So he was in a very good position, and he was hanging out with Wiz, which is the part everybody wants to know. How did he get there? Okay, cool. So he messaged me. He's like, okay, I think we have a green light. So, and the show was sold out completely, front and back. But before the show, I'd already done my own routine checks. Gone around all the venue, fire exit doors to see where I can sneak anyone in. I've done the right things. And so before I did that, I went to... So when they were on their way, I went to the venue manager, who was also a big fan of Wiz. Was like, there's nobody that can come in here today. I'm like, please, this has got to happen.
It's for the culture.
Whatever you have to do, this has got to happen. So he said, where? Smade, unless you can show me, I promise you. This guy said to me, unless you can show me where they're going to come in from, then I'll let it happen. And I took him to the door that Wiz came into that venue. Because the front was blocked.
People were outside.
David had, shut down the show. Fire, E4 was hot then. So it was, front was already packed. You can't get in. Back stage, you can't get in. But that exit, God showed it to me. That was it. Game over. So I got Bazzi, Tunes, and a couple of other guys in through that back door. So we stayed by the stage area.
You had the mask on.
Wiz had the mask on. So no one really knew who was there until they saw
Tunes.
No, Enchi. Until they saw Enchi. So, and after a while, they started figuring out that, But before he came out to the backstage, he was just sitting in one corner. So all this was within 20 minutes. Wiz came, it was backstage. I went to meet DJ Eco. He was around the DJ booth with other
people,
DMW crew. And I just said to them, yo, Wiz is there. And we want him to do a song. I want him to do a song. And everyone was like, because at that time, the momentum was high. Everybody was having a good time. And they were looking at themselves. Like, everyone was looking. And I heard some words, which, it was too deep for you guys to hear. And then, for some reason, I think David knew that something was going on.
So he came to the booth.
He didn't come to the booth. I went to him on stage. So he met me halfway and said, yo, Wiz is here. And he looked at me. He's going to do a song? I said, just call him out. That was it. I went back to Wiz. I said, get ready. David is going to call you. All this, it's easy to say,
2 minutes.
At that
pressure.
time.
Yeah, it was hard.
You just have to
Oh, no.
you understand how to make it happen. So I went to Weez, and Weez was like, get this song. That's the song I'm going to do. Yeah. This is the beat. And I went to Equal. I said, this is what Weez wants. And that was it. Should I do it? Should I do it?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Listen, Maya could be heard in Central London that night.
We're trending #1 in the UK.
Bro.
Within 30
I've
minutes.
never seen the whole auditorium jump. Like,
it was like the most emotional day, man.
It was a tearful day for me, tears of joy, and that was the beginning of the change for Afrobeats.
Absolutely.
You know, I really respect both of them. These are two GOATs, two legends.
Final points. First point, major point, 3 sold-out nights at the O2 Arena. How did you feel about that moment when you found out that Wizkid had gone from Royal Albert Hall, gone to the O2 Afro Republic, then headlined it himself, then eventually had 3 nights back-to-back sold out?
So I've been involved with like multiple shows for Wiz. I'm not even talking about the first time. Now I'm talking about HMV Apollo when it came for Afrobeats Festival 2010, 2011. It came back to headline his own show. You know, and we did Indigo 2 with SJM partnered, and then we did Royal Albert Hall. And after Royal Albert Hall, we did
the O2 Afro
Republic. These are shows that I've personally been involved in. But you see the O2 Made in Lagos back-to-back shows that sold out. We could have gone a week selling out those shows.
It's hot.
It could have gone a week. Like, there was a lot of waiting list. So we obviously had to stop it. That, okay, 3 days.
It's crazy.
What's better than 3 new? So 3 days was powerful, and this is to let you know how special Weez is. To let you know how we cannot play with this guy, man. Don't play with this boy. And how did you feel? Man. How did I feel?
As someone who had seen him performing at a 300 capacity at Governor Bar, to ultimately filling up the 20,000 capacity arena 3 days in a row.
Look, God.
And being a part of that.
God is good. God is good all the time. Like, I'm a very, very prayerful person. And God said this is just the beginning. So that's how I feel. There's a lot more work. I feel like this is 11 years back.
Bro,
we never stopped.
It's 2023.
Consistency, like I said, is the key to even gain more.
It's 2023. He's about to do the stadium, Tottenham Stadium.
Bro, listen, that's going to be crazy.
That's going to be crazy.
That's going to be
a month before then. We're going to have Burna Boy.
Bro, Burna,
West Ham.
Burna, Wiz, David, Olamide.
They're only going to be doing stadiums now.
We are only going to be doing stadiums now. We're talking because it's the culture.
Facts.
Like we used to do clubs, we're now doing stadiums.
Facts.
That's what we're doing with Afronation, traveling around the world.
You've touched
doing
Afronation.
Festivals.
That's our final conversation.
Okay.
Afronation.
Okay.
2019 was the first time that it happened. A lot of people didn't believe or didn't know what to expect. I don't think belief is the right word. A lot of people didn't know what to expect from Afronation. But once we got to Portugal, we knew what it was. Talk to me about Afronation and why it's become so successful.
Wow. This Afronation question, get us a beat.
Why?
Well,
of course, shout outs to the partners and everybody. Why has it become?
It's been a long time coming. It just happened to be my time that it happened. There's been a lot of people, on this journey, building
those
building
little
this
steps.
Yes.
That ultimately
yes.
came together.
Everyone has been contributing one way or the other. But with Afronation, it was just to confirm that dream that I had. You know, that I've always been ringing in my head, to bring the world together, to bring people together. And obviously, you know, it wasn't easy. Partnering up with Obiasika and, you know, Live Nation and a huge team behind Afronation. You know, amazing team.
Incredible team.
Passionate, you know, individuals. Every single person in that team.
Facts.
They're great, from the stage, from Mike to
logistics,
to the security team, to logistics. Everybody puts their life into this. And that's the special thing about it, and that's why it's so great today.
Absolutely.
You know, I can't see any other, like, I can't tell you any other reason other than the fact that we love what we do.
And they care about the culture.
We care about the culture. We care about the movement and where we are going to. For me, I put God first. I always pray, you know, and like I said, it's just the beginning.
And for me, I think one of the reasons why Afronation, to me, whether I'm a part of it or not, is going to forever be special, is because the partnerships, the organizations, did not only think about the festivals. There are other things outside of the festival that empowers the culture. Example is the Afrobeats chart in the UK. Example is the Afrobeats chart in the United States of America. Yeah. Deciding that it was time for us to have such a platform.
Right now, we're on billboards around the world. You know, even Rema's video is now like #1 most viewed.
Yeah.
And so to tell you that there's more coming.
Absolutely.
And not just from Nigerians, but from the entire parts and corners of Africa. Like, there's still more coming from these superstars. We are evolving. We're getting better. You know, and there's a lot of attention on us. And if you go back to Nigeria, there's artists, brand new artists popping up every single day. Every single day. In fact, everybody in a singer now.
Everybody.
When you go release
I'm going to release a song soon. So
everybody in a singer now.
Afronation has now gone from Portugal. We went to Ghana. The pandemic hit, which was a terrible low. But we had a massive high going back to Portugal in 2022 and rounding up in Ghana. We had Puerto Rico. And then Portugal, and then Ghana. And 2023 is looking even crazier. You have Miami, and then you have Portugal. One question I just want you to answer as best as you can is, when the pandemic hit and it was so low, and the negativity around the festival, the organizers, the organization was at its peak. The personal attacks was unprecedented. I'd never seen anything like that before. In your DMs, on social media, how did you deal with that, and what kept you going?
That was one of the toughest moments of my life. You know, but I always knew I was gonna come back from it, because one thing about me, I'm very resilient. You know, and I'm very stubborn when it comes to, like, nothing can stop me. You know, and the attacks were very bad, threatening me with everything, you know, coming at my family, my mom included. May her soul rest in peace now. You know, in fact, it's so deep that those messages were coming in exactly 2 years, like, before she passed. Exactly 2 years before she passed. I've got a lot of DMs about my mom, people cursing, about my family, about my kids. You know, people not understanding the journey and where we're coming from. But also, for me, understanding where people are coming from. A lot of people were, you know, going through a lot.
Yes, because it was the pandemic, everybody was feeling something different.
People actually made up stories about me and merged them and put it up there on, you know, on socials. But it was also understanding my position, you know, being the face, being the man who is, maybe that was one of the blessing and the curse for the festival, you know, because having someone to point at, you know, to hold responsible for something, which was me, you know. So I took it, But the whole team took it. It was very tough. We lost a lot. There's so much pain. We were going through even a lot worse than everybody because of what was
because it
going
was
on.
the first time.
They come into it very bad, but somehow, like you asked, how did I survive it? Somehow God just kept on saying to me, you have to continue. You're serving. This is service. There ain't so many people that were doing what I was doing it and how I was doing it. So if I had given up, am I ready to let go of everything I've worked for? Am I ready to listen to what they're saying and let that affect the inner me and who I am? No, I wasn't. So I had to pray, and I had good friends and family around. A lot of friends left. A lot of friends didn't want to be associated with Smade then because he was a scapegoat on Twitter and on social media. So, it was humbling experience at the time. So much pain. I was in one corner, but while I was in that corner, I was working. Building. Never stopped working, bro. You know what we did during those times. Walking out, keeping the mental state stable, walking out in my garden almost 5 times in a week. Shout out to you and thank you for your love and support during those times too. Like I said earlier, you deserve your flowers. In fact, a garden. For how well you've stood by a lot of people. I've heard you on the phone talking to a lot of artists that you expect to see, on the top charts, and give them. I've heard so much from your end and what you've done. So me surviving it is a story for another day.
Absolutely.
But all I can say was I have a good team. I was able to hold on to my family because a successful man is known not just at work, but at home. So and kids, I thank God.
Them kids don't care about the pressure you're facing.
They don't. They're my joy. Them kids are my peace. They're everything that makes me happy. So I just fell back to that. Made one more baby. Single baby. Cut. No, I'm saying I made one more baby.
But that's enough.
Shame.
Yeah, please.
I locked up at 2. I don't know how they got 2 out. I don't know how they got 2 out.
I say it all the time.
The kind of way.
Listen,
where I don't know.
I was only planning for 1. And
blessings to listen. Shout out to my queen. Shout out to my queen side. I love you, baby. She held me down. That's a gospel fact. My wife was able to push me and able to remind me of who I am, like who Adesegun Adebayo Adeosun is.
Forget the Smade. Forget all of that.
You need to know and remember who you
are is first.
And why you're doing this. So I had a very strong wife who was there for me. Trust me, we went through all the emotional breakdowns during this period. We went through all the pain. COVID was out, pandemic was out. There was no club nights happening. There was no money coming in like it used to. So there was pain everywhere. But, the pressure was a lot. But it was during that time I decided to pull one of my businesses I've always had in my mind for a long time, Smade Lounge. That was now that card I had to play. I played a lot of cards during the pandemic. I already had my beard business that was doing crazy numbers online. Now was time to even deeper. Like it was like dig in, just keep going, keep serving. And that was how, Smade Lounge came about. And now Smade Lounge is known around the world. We're waiting for investors so we can take this around the world.
That's where Africa plays. That's the African playground in the UK.
Bro, it's your playground.
Come through and have fun.
Come on.
Listen, I know you're a very busy guy.
It's Friday night, baby.
We're gonna schedule, a conversation for Afronation separately.
Yeah, we have to because we can't finish it today.
Exactly. But I wanna ask you one very important question for the young people musicians, creative businessmen and women that are watching and have listened to your story, your growth, and if there's one advice you can give anybody out there right now, what would you say to them?
First of all, you have to believe. Believe in yourself. No one can believe for you. No one can do the belief for you. So you have to believe. It's your belief that takes you. You know, I use 5 Ds every day. In fact, all my kids can tell you what the 5 Ds are.
What are they?
Dream.
Dream.
Drive.
Drive.
Determination. Discipline. And delivery. So these 5 Ds, every day, on my way to school, dropping the kids, they tell me about the 5 Ds. We talk. We even diversify into different explanations of these 5 Ds. Dream, you must have a dream.
Fact.
You must have dreams, and you can even dream bigger. All the dreams I have dreamt and achieved and delivered, I doubled it up.
Facts.
That's number 6, the 6th D. Double up. So when you're at the end of every dream, you can also achieve more. You can dream bigger. So dream big. Have the ability to drive that dream. So you need all the condiments. If you have to educate yourself in uni, in school, the courses, whatever, or even go and intern.
Serve.
Go and serve. You know, that's the drive.
Yep.
Hard work. Then the third one, determination.
Yep.
Against all odds. All the, life is a roller coaster. Yep. Things don't always go well. So when it comes, when shit happens, when things go south, you have to be determined. The determination to keep going against all odds is really key to achieving that dream. So dream, drive, determination. Next is discipline. Brother, I don't drink. We don't drink.
Facts. Bro.
But we are out every day.
All night.
That's why I can do day shift and night shift.
Because you don't have to deal with hangovers.
Yes.
Discipline.
So discipline, that's just one example. And discipline is being your true self, regardless of who people think you are or what people say you are. Just be yourself. So there's a lot of topics and a lot of things to say about discipline because of time. Finally, delivery. That dream has to be delivered. And if you want to add more, double up. That's number 6 for you. So at the end of every dream, when you deliver, you can double up. You can do it again. You can play more cards. You can. From this, I expect water.
Absolutely.
From this, I expect champagne.
Yep.
From this, I expect a spirit.
Facts.
That's how it grows. So keep the dream. You've achieved this. And
Facts.
I promise you, in the next 5 years, remember I said this.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
The energy god is going to be around the world.
Facts.
Not just the UK.
Facts.
So it's coming to you in Nigeria. It's coming to you.
Facts.
Australia. We're coming everywhere around the world. The whole idea of us growing and expanding our music is to take us around the world.
Around the world. We're coming.
So, yeah, I got you the 5 Ds, right?
I'm going to be using that for sure.
Definitely.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure talking to my brother, the super successful genius himself, the enigma, the beard, the successful CEO, and of course partner of the wonderful Afro Nation, my brother. Give it up for the incredible Smade! Right.